What's up, nerds? Brandon and Jimmy here from Nerd Alert. And one of my new favorite segments, well, just because it's been dry for a while, but we're back and we got more DC news. It is announced that the script for the Batman Part 2 is finished. It's been completed, which means they'll probably get rolling on that. It has been something everyone has had questions about. I think we were well overdue for the sequel, but long as you took your time and you did something we're all going to love, I'm fine with it.
Well,
It's a
that's one of the things, and James Gunn said this from the beginning, and I guess we just didn't believe him. We're not going to make movies for scripts that aren't finished.
yeah,
Awesome. I have no problem with that, and I know he's getting hammered, probably even more so than Matt Reeves, about finishing it. It's like, dude, just let him finish the damn script. You ask, he's going to have more time trying to answer you than just sitting down and writing. So shut up. But
yeah,
the thing I really like is they also announced at the same time, they didn't say what the project was, so there's a lot of speculation. But James Gunn just killed a project because the script wasn't finished or wasn't finished to his liking. It's like, we're not going to make this movie if it's not good. And
we're
good or
not putting
bad,
out half-ass stories.
we're not getting another Batgirl where it's like there's this movie out there that nobody will ever see because some reason they made it but didn't like it. And if it didn't have the foundation, why the hell did you even start it? So I'm
100%.
very happy with this. And it's Batman. Like, you could make another Joel Schumacher and just throw things at the screen, but there have been very few bad Batman movies. So to take your time and take a great story, and the way that they reintroduced Batman after the Christian Bale trilogy was hugely important, and it was phenomenal. I really enjoyed the detective side of things with Robert Pattinson tracking down the Riddler and the way they portrayed the Riddler. I really enjoyed this fresh look at the Batman universe, and it really got me back into it because I know on the flip side, like Spider-Man, when Tom Holland came around, it was like, I'm not sure I'm in the mood to see another Spider-Man because we've rebooted it twice. Okay, am I really down? I don't know. Whereas when I saw Robert Pattinson Batman, I was in basically from the get-go because it was like, okay, it's different. I like this, something new.
And I think the coolest thing about it is that this is still going to act as a standalone Batman. They are labeling it an Elseworld, but with that, they talked about how they weren't really sure about a bat like it wasn't the top priority at first to have Batman in this new DC cinematic universe, but then they kind of talk how like you need Batman. You need a you need a Superman, a Batman, and a Wonder Woman. And this one is going to be a different take, which I'm excited about.
Yeah,
You're going to have two great versions happening at once, building towards something. And I also kind of like the idea that they said it's not going to be as it's going to be less Marvel and more Star Wars, where they can tell stories at different points in time, and not necessarily have everything lead in a row of continuity like the Marvel movies and TV shows
I
now.
think that.
But with that, Matt Reeves, who is doing the Elseworld Batman, is also moving forward, and I guess they're beginning production on the Clayface movie that will be part of James Gunn's DCU. So
Which is
that's exciting.
phenomenal. I'm really excited for this. I know we had kind of talked that maybe Alan Tudyk was going to be um, voice actor, but he's not, so that's okay. But I really like how I can't remember the dude who wrote it. It's the guy who did those Netflix things like followed House of Usher.
Oh yeah, Mike.
Michael,
Hold
yeah,
on, nope, I
I
had
know.
it. I had it.
Right
Let
when I
me.
need it, it's not there. Whatever.
Son of a
I
bitch.
know. But what I like is he wrote it, had a passion for it. James Gunn's read it, loved it. He cannot direct, but it was like, that's fine. This movie's so good, we want to make it. Or this script is so good, we want to make it. I love that. So it must be one of those things where, and this is just optimism, which is goes back to Brandon. I meant to say this. One of the things I'm excited that we're talking about DC again in a positive light. And I'm not knocking Snyderverse.
Exactly. No, exactly.
How cool is this?
Where is this? Mike Flanagan. That's him.
You would.
Outstanding.
It's not
He
like that's a
writes.
difficult name, Flanagan. Damn
His
it.
shows are so good, and it's so cool that they're going to have this like kind of dark body horror
Yeah.
movie coming out that he says is directly influenced by the animated series Clayface arc, which is arguably the best Clayface story, and that should be great. But yeah, like you're saying, it's good to be in a positive light. I know there's a lot of Snyderverse fans still out there that are actively trying to dive bomb um, the DCU already, which is hilarious to me because it's like, let it go. You're not getting it. They're bad movies. It didn't make sense. They're not.
Even if those are your favorite movies of all time, there's a point where I keep doing that. Zack Snyder is done with DC, whether it's on his terms or DC's terms. Doesn't matter.
It's
He's
gone.
done.
It's gone. It's
Why
dead.
can't you just be like, oh, well, let's see what they do next? That's like hating everything they do afterwards because Christopher Nolan is never going to make another DC movie. It's like, what? Why would you? Why? Why?
Fandoms are just so weird now, man. Like between this and like the hate you get for Star Wars and even like some of the Marvel stuff, like it's just like I've never seen people that are a fan of something and their whole existence is to just rip down like what do you like about it?
That's exactly because they're not even
How
giving
are
them.
you a fan if you hate everything that they do, you're not a fan.
No,
Just watch something else.
yeah, I was talking.
Everybody's got a trilogy now, man. You could choose in any direction a franchise. Like if this one isn't what you're into,
You have other.
choose another, man.
Yeah, it's not. It just baffles me. Like I get it. If you don't like James Bond, you're probably not going to like any of his movies because it's all James Bond.
It's not like James Bond's going to be a different
Exactly.
person. He's still a spy.
But guess what? If you don't like Iron Man, guess what? There's a Captain America. If you don't like Superman, there's a Batman. Come on, people. You don't have to
You can
hate.
watch you can watch The Phantom starring Billy Zane. Okay, that still exists.
Why would you
So
bring that up? You have
because
Howard the
it's
Duck and
great. It's
Contour
great.
Man, two way more viable superhero movies, and you're bringing up the Phantom?
Phantom's great. Billy Zane's great. But I'm just saying, like, you have so many options, and it's just so weird that we're just ready to be like, this one sucks. And it's like you haven't even watched it yet. You have no idea what he's but also you loved Guardians. Like, why would we not trust James Gunn enough to give him a shot
Yeah.
to do
Well,
this?
and I'll be honest, I wasn't a huge fan of his version of the Suicide Squad. I just
Yeah.
was like, all right, it's better than the other one that was the Academy Award winning one,
But
but
that's when they were still trying to keep that alive and hoping that he
exactly.
would fix it. And I don't not like it as a James Gunn movie. I just don't like it in the continuity of everything that happened. I know that some of that still plays in, as we saw in Creature Commandos. So it's kind of going to be loosely based, but you gave him pieces of a broken first movie, and I thought he patched it together really well.
And that's what I was getting at is that he then went and did Peacemaker, which I thoroughly enjoyed. Like, I don't know
So
anything about
good.
that character other than him in the movie. So seeing his TV show, I was like, Jesus, this is awesome. I love it. To then Creature Commandos, where now James Gunn is fully in control of this whole universe that he is now working in. I'm like, dude, I feel a lot better about him at the helm, coordinating everything, directing some, writing some, but just making sure. And I guess it's just nice to see his uber super nerd in charge, but not to the extent of where I totally believe Zack Snyder's a nerd, not necessarily a comic book nerd, but a nerd. And he didn't necessarily stay true to the way things should be. Whereas Kevin Feige on the Marvel side and now James Gunn on the DC side, I think they will make changes, but they'll stay true to the feel of what this universe should be. And I think we see
I
that
also
with the commercial with Crypto and Superman. It's like,
100%. But kind of what we were talking about with the DC Marvel crossover, I also like that James Gunn is excited for Fantastic Four. I like that Kevin Feige wants to see what he does with Superman. Like, there's no reason you have to have an alliance to a fandom, and the other fandom has to be the worst thing you've ever seen. Like, I see it a lot with wrestling. People who are WWE fans are not wrestling fans. They just watch their thing. But as Jimmy's falling asleep, it would be like if you only watched one type of like it's the more the merrier. There's more for you to take in out there. This is the best time for some of these fandoms, and all you're getting is people just complaining on all sides. Like you have options everywhere you go. If you're not into the one you're watching, pick another. There's a million things to get into. You don't have to make your identity about how terrible the other one is what I'm saying.
enjoy what you enjoy. And even like we've talked about that, there's things in Star Wars I'm like, if I have to watch the holiday special one more time, I might just hate all of Star Wars. It's
Oh,
just
come
that
on. It's
but
amazing.
I
It's
don't
so
refuse
good.
to watch it. So I will watch all my other Star Wars because there's so much else to enjoy. And even if every single Star Wars film, movie, whatever after this sucked, I'll go to the books and the comic books. Folks, there's other options, like Brandon just said.
Or just rewatch the ones you like. You
Good point.
know, I
Excellent.
did that with Indiana Jones. Crystal Skull wasn't great. I've rewatched that film maybe once. Like, I just watched the other ones. It doesn't change those for me. You know, it doesn't. You can. There's more out there. There's more to get into. Support everything, and if you're not into it, you just is simply not. You don't have to make memes. You don't have to dedicate entire platforms to just talking shit about somebody. Like, that's just. It's just so much energy to like
So
waste.
negative. When did we all get so negative? I hate it.
Yeah. But anyways, I'm excited that we have DC news. And the cool thing about this Elseworld things is it kind of gives us different DC news to talk about. I can't imagine this is going to be the only time they do a movie that's not in continuity either. So it just seems like James Gunn is looking at a much broader spread of directions you can go in and stuff and not this linear. And I'm excited to see how that plays out.
Me too, because I feel like the last regime, and I know it's called the Snyderverse, but he was not ultimately in charge, so
Hmm.
you feel bad for him in that respect. But they were trying to just mimic Marvel, and Jesus, did they miss the mark huge. So to do something that's like, no, 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 we're doing our own thing. It's like awesome. There's no
Yeah.
reason to compete. You have a blueprint if you want, which is one of the things we always commented. Why can't you get it right? But do your own thing, man. And so far, the things James Gunn has touched and produced and put out there have been great on the DC side. So when Superman comes on, obviously that's going to be a huge milestone to see how that falls. But whew, I'm excited. Excited, and I
You and
haven't
me
been
both.
excited for DC in a long time.
And we're weeks away.
Yeah, getting there. Where does that? I forgot. Where was that filmed?
All right, I'm logging off now. We're getting out of here. Cleveland. Filmed in Cleveland. Hooray.
Yeah.
It's about time something happens there.
Well, I will say, in your defense, that is the only way we can make Cleveland look good is putting it in a film, digitize it, making it look pretty, and all that stuff. And then finally, Cleveland can look good, and they rename it to Metropolis or whatever. So it's not actually Cleveland.
I'll be like, I'll go visit Metropolis.
Yeah. I understand you recently did.
Yeah, I'm from the runway for 2 hours, waiting to refuel to land in New York. That was a hell of a time. I was like, Cleveland, you've done this to yourself.
Well,
I wasn't trying to.
let me get this straight, though. You went to Cleveland Airport and stayed in Ohio. Now, if you'd gone to Cincinnati Airport, you wouldn't have been in Ohio at all. So at least we have that going for us in
That's
Cleveland.
ridiculous.
In
I would have been.
Cincinnati, you're in Kentucky. So whatever. Those people are. Anywho.
Look at this. Look at the superiority of Ohio. Ohio's
Suck it, Reds.
superiority.
Suck it, Bengals. Suck it.
Well, hey, thanks for watching. Let us know what you think in the comments below. Is Cleveland superior to Cincinnati?
Damn it. I think you just opened a huge can of worms like they both suck. Why are we talking about it? Like, fuck. Go Vegas. Yay.
There you go.